Hi everyone, hope that you're all well and that you're all safe. I'm going to do a soul contract reading today, and before I start, I was actually contemplating whether I wanted to do like a separate short or something about the fact that there's just a lot of chaos and all sorts going on at the minute. I know there's always stuff going on all over the world, and obviously being in the UK, there's stuff going on closer to home for me as well, and I don't know if you are noticing it. Right, so this is my third attempt at recording this video. I keep seeing what looks like some kind of orb or something on the screen. I don't know if you saw it just, but it kept on happening the other two times I recorded it, and I got so distracted that I started fumbling up my words, so I started re-recording it. But I'm like, sometimes I do get like literal, I can see literal bits of fluff in front of the screen and I'll be like, oh, it's just a bit of fluff. But this is literally like orbs, and it's happened, I think that time it just happened now. It would have been about the sixth time since I've been making my attempts to record. So if throughout at any point in the video, if you think you see an orb, you know, feel free to let me know in the comments. Because yeah, it's not just the orb, I can feel, yeah, there's something, I don't know what it is, something here as well. But anyway, yeah, as I was saying, there's a lot of chaos going on at the minute, and there's stuff happening close to home, closer to home in the UK to me as well. I'm someone who, I'm pretty calm in a, what do you call it, like a crisis, other people's crisis. In my own life, that's another story. But if anybody else is having a crisis or there's shit going on, I'm usually like really calm. Even if inside I can feel the stress, like I'm calm. And this what's going on at present, it reminds me of that feeling of when we experienced the situation with COVID, where I was pretty calm within myself. I mean, obviously we have our own little fears and worries and whatever, but I was pretty calm about the whole thing. What got to me is that I could feel the stress and everything of, I could feel everybody else's feelings pretty much. As I say, I'm an empath, as we all are. But yeah, I could really feel it, and it felt like the weight of the world, to be honest. It's like carrying everybody else's baggage, and I'm getting that feeling now where, yeah, I can feel it. And I do, when situations like this happen, I kind of like, I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna try to not watch too much of the news. I mean, obviously you want to get bits and pieces so you know what's going on, but I try to avoid it. And it's like, you know what, I've tried to avoid it and I can still feel it. I can feel the tension. I feel like a orb thing went past the camera again then. I can feel the tension. So I just want to say, I mean, as I've already said, I hope that you're all safe and well. And I just want to say, stay in the light. Whatever problems we have, which we do have problems, we can't deny that, and we can't pretend that we don't feel a certain way about things. But divisiveness isn't the answer. It isn't, because divisiveness and fear kind of go hand in hand, and fear can make people behave very irrationally and maliciously as well. So stay in the light. Focus on your path, and as people have told me before, recently and long ago as well, focus on the light within you and share that. You know, don't let the chaos distract you. So that's what I'm doing today. I thought, you know what, I've already been talking to family and stuff and just enjoying their energy and the love and that kind of thing. But I thought I'm going to focus on doing what I love today to help me stay in the light. So, you know, feel free to share in the comments what you do to stay in the light and to focus on your path and not be distracted and focus on the light within you. I'd like to hear that. Anyway, we're going to get into this reading now. So it's a soul contract reading again. As I've said before, soul contracts, it's the agreements or some of the agreements that we've made before we come into the human experience. So it can be the path that we choose, like our mission, our life's mission, some of the experiences we'll have, the people we'll come into contact with, those sorts of things. Obviously, free will does play a part, and we don't control everything, and not everything is set in stone. But we're kind of looking at the things that have been prearranged here. So we're going to begin. These are the books from the decks I'm going to be using for the reading. We're going to use the Goddesses, Gods and Guardians deck to do like the main spread for this today, and then we'll get a little bit of advice at the end using the power of love. I thought we needed to bring in the power of love for something today. And then Sacred Rebels. I love Sacred Rebels, and I've been planning on using it for my next batch of like monthly readings or something anyway. So let's get on with it. So starting off with the goddesses, gods and guardians, as I said before, so it's a soul contract reading. It resonates with whoever it resonates with. You may even feel, if it doesn't resonate for you, it may resonate with someone that you know, and it may give you a bit more understanding with them. Like you may feel like you understand them more. But let's begin. So we're going to start off with whoever the contract is for. We're going to start off with the destiny and sort of the mission or primary lessons of this person. Whoops. Okay, I was intending to I did a bit of a shuffling. I was gonna shuffle under the camera so that you can see I'm actually shuffling, and one has flown out. Okay, this one, it's see if I can remember how to pronounce it. Tlatzol Teo. I never get this right. I'm gonna look in the book because I can never bloody pronounce it, and I have practiced as well. But we've got forgive as the main energy. Let me just get her name right because I hate butchering things. I'm really anal about getting names right. Like I'm the person that will usually remember exactly how to spell someone's name and pronounce it, but this one always gets me. Tlatzalteyat. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Okay, so that's the main destiny, mission, primary lesson for this person, forgiveness. Let's look at the essence of who this person is. So I'm meant to be shuffling under the camera because I want you to see. So the essence, right, we have Maulisa, balance. Just bear with me because they have fallen pretty chaotically. This is why I kind of reverted to not shuffling under the table, because I know it gets chaotic, but anyway, it's fine. I want to know what the universe has been guiding or pushing this person towards. We've got 2. We have watch your words and rest. Why did my throat go funny when it came to the watch your words card, Oma and Star Maiden? So what has this person dealt with in the past within the soul contract? We have sacred marriage and expand your consciousness. I already feel like this person, and we know it's not my favorite thing to kind of go into, but twin flame is coming to mind. This person may feel like they are part of the twin flame or experience, or have been part of the twin flame experience, and not just the twin flame in the sense of having an external person that they feel connected to, but they're, you know, so people speak of the internal twin flame as well. And I think if this is the correct card, it mentions that in the book, so I'll have a look for that. But it's, for me, this is like it's the awakening, isn't it? If for the twin flame experience, if we talk about it that way, the whole point of it is awakening. As I've said before for myself previously, I feel that I've had that kind of spiritual connection that basically triggered my awakening, and this is why I'm doing tarot. This is how I've ended up doing tarot. This is how I've ended up being a light worker, is because of that spiritual connection, which is how I refer to twin flame, soulmate, whatever. It triggered everything. It expanded my consciousness. It, you know. Anyway, let's look at what this person is dealing with within the soul contract in the present. Kadesh, sexual wisdom. Okay. And it's funny that's come up because I've written quite a few fiction type things, and they are they do get quite explicit. So I was reading one of them last night actually, and when I was reading it, I was even blushing at what I'd written, thinking, oh my God, how did I do that? Yeah, but anyway, it's interesting that comes up. So right, we've got future energy as in what this person may be dealing with within the soul contract in the future. That's too many. I'm going to try that again. We have Lilith, face your shadow. I absolutely, as I've grown to learn about Lilith, I actually just really like the energy. It's like the dark feminine energy. And we're going to look at next any guidance for this person to fulfill the soul contract. Why is that in reverse? I'm not sure why. Ra, share your gift. Okay, I like that. And I'm actually not surprised that's come out, because with the sexual wisdom card coming out, I was actually thinking, is the point that there's someone here that, and with Lilith as well, because there's a sexual element to Lilith too, is there something here with someone needing to use that energy, the sexual energy, or share wisdom around sexuality or something, potentially in the future, or in the present even. So let's get some clarify. I'm probably going to clarify some of this, right? This may require more clarifiers than the previous ones. So which deck do I want to use for that? We're going to go for Arcanum or Arcanum. So Tlatzalteotl was the destiny or primary mission. Forgiveness. Forgiveness usually begins with yourself, doesn't it? And then it can include other people as well. So what do we need to know about Tlatzalteotl? We have the Page of Cups. That is, you can represent an apology, actually. Okay, I don't know if you saw how that fell, but I'll take that. That's the Two of Cups. We have the Queen of Cups. We have the Two of Wands. Shall I get one more for that? I think we'll get one more. The thing that's come into mind, one of the things that's come into mind with this soul contract, and the words that are coming in my head as well, in terms of the forgiveness, I think one of the main points that this person, part of their mission, okay, that's interesting, I was going to say, is for them to be more forgiving, well, forgiving, but less judgmental towards others. That's one thing that comes to mind. Compassion. We've got the Queen of Cups there. Compassion. Two of Cups for me can be understanding. And that's a choice as well. You know, like if you have an argument with someone, you can sort of choose to hate them, or you can choose to love them, can't you, really? And by loving them, it doesn't mean that you kind of write off their, if they've treated you in a malicious way. It doesn't necessarily means that. It's actually, I just saw something about forgiveness and I made a note on it. I was watching something while I was preparing the cards, and the thing that came up is forgiveness. Part of forgiveness is where you say, I'm done with that story. It's not that you kind of pretend that nothing went wrong and someone didn't treat you wrong or whatever, but it's like, it's where you let go of the baggage. This has come up for me as well recently, where I was metaphorically imagining handing someone back their baggage. It's like, because of whatever happened between myself and that person, it's almost like I took on the baggage of trying to understand everything, and like I took part for my responsibility, took my responsibility for my part in the situation, should I say. But it's almost like I was trying to figure out and overanalyze every single detail of the situation, and what I did wrong, what they did wrong, what should have happened, what could have happened, what should happen in the future. And I got to a point and I thought, this is ridiculous. You're taking on baggage that you don't need to. You've accepted your role in the situation. You're taking responsibility for that and trying to learn and grow from it. Hand them back their baggage. You can't understand why they did what they did, or what they're going to do in the future, or what they're doing in the present. That's not your problem. Give them back the baggage. So I kind of visualize myself saying, here, take it back. I don't want it. It's not my problem. And as I say, it's like forgiveness is where you say you're done with that story. That's it now. Anyway, let's get one more card. Oh yeah. So what else I was going to say with the forgiveness is forgiving other people, forgiving yourself for things as well. And also, you may need, part of your mission may be to share something about how, with others, about how to forgive. That came up as well. Was there anything else? I think that's it. Let's just get one more card for that. So, Seven of Pentacles, which is the question of, is it worth it? But for me, I'd say the first thing that comes to mind with that, that's the Judgment. I know it's not a judgment, the Judgment card, but that feels like the Judgment, where the Judgment comes in and where you sit there. It is a card of assessment, isn't it? And it can, which assessment can become over-analysis. So, okay. Let's move that out of the way. Do I want to put, I'm going to put these back in the deck. So that's the main mission of the person, is to learn to forgive more and to be less judgmental. And I would also say to teach others about forgiveness as well, whether it means teach the people in your life, the people who you feel have wronged you, or to teach the wider community, collective, whatever it is. So we're going to look at the essence of who this person is. We've got Mau Lisa. This is about balance. It is, so again, that whole spiritual connection, twin flame thing coming up again, because Mau Lisa is masculine and feminine energy combined. It's a god slash goddess that doesn't have a gender. Let me just have a look here and see if there's, I feel like there may be something that else that I need to know from the book for that one. Okay, the main theme is to center your energy, seek harmony and cooperation. And that is part of forgiveness, isn't it? Harmony and cooperation, forgiveness is a part of that. I'm glad I looked that up. And yeah, it speaks of the masculine and feminine. Right, so another key point here, it says it's about balancing the masculine and the feminine energies. And it refers to the masculine, as we may already know, it's active, it's rational, and it's about doing. The moon is about receptivity, intuitiveness, and being. And there's an invocation that says, all aspects of my being are balanced. I find strength in my center. So this person, the fact that that balance card comes up as the essence of who they are, this person is probably actually good at forgiving or understanding what needs to be forgiven or how to forgive, you know, that sort of thing. And that hence that would be why they're able to then teach others how to forgive. That makes sense. So I think that balance is part of their gift. Actually, it's the essence of who they are, but it's part of their gift that they're able to look at the different perspectives of things. So I'm not even going to bother to clarify that. I've got what I need from that. We're going to look at what the universe has been guiding or pushing this person towards. So we have Oma, who's a Celtic warrior or god. Let me just check. Definitely Celtic. Well, let me just see if he's a warrior or a god. He came up, was it once in the readings for the August? Celtic warrior. Okay. Again, what comes up with that is that judgment thing, what the universe has been guiding you, pushing towards. So it's communication, isn't it, Oma? Whether it's written communication, speech, etc. There's the thing about being careful in terms of being judgmental there and, you know, over-analysis and things like that. But there's something here with the universe pushing this person to communicate in a better way, differently. I would say the communication is part of their mission as well, how they communicate, how they use that communication. Let me just have a look at the Star Maiden as well before I start to get clarifiers out. I'm going to clarify that. I just want to see a little bit more of what that has to say. So the Star Maiden, rest, which is rest, recovery and renewal, a pause in the journey. And the invocation says, I slow down my pace and heal. I think the healing part is the key here. I relax and replenish my soul. So again, using that communication, and this is coming up quite a bit here because I spoke about with the sexual wisdom card and share your gift. It's kind of expressing and sharing guidance and maybe teaching others. So there's something again here, there's teaching how to forgive, how to forgive, but also just in general communicating in a way that helps people to heal. So there could be a lot involved in this. This could be someone who is a spiritual teacher, a light worker. In fact, I would very much say that it is someone who's probably a teacher or spiritual teacher or light worker, and they use communication to help in the teaching and the sharing and etc. But let's get a little bit more on that. So they're being pushed to share, to express. What else do we need to know about Oma and the Star Maiden? So we've got the Three of Swords. And it was that one first. I was asking myself then, which one first? And all I kept getting was High Priestess, High Priestess, High Priestess. And then we've got the Six of Swords as well. And we'll just get one more. Okay, she's back. How did I know she'd be back? obviously with all this talk of healing and compassion and everything, she's going to keep showing up, isn't she? The Queen of Cups. This for me, this whole thing is just, it's healing, isn't it? This would represent, well, this, that, and that for me represent the person. So Justice, the High Priestess, and the Queen of Cups represent this person and their mission. They are, as I said, spiritual teacher, light worker, High Priestess, in it, Queen of Cups. Again, I think out of all of the queens, I mean, any one of them could be a light worker. But the Queen of Cups in particular, she's all about love and compassion, etc. So yeah, we've got the Justice card, which connects to that Maui Lisa card as well, about balancing things out and making things fair. And then that, for me, the Justice card again connects to that forgiveness. But Three of Swords and Six of Swords, again, it's helping people to move on, teaching people to, you can't exactly teach someone how to move on, but you can share experiences, stories, information, bits of wisdom that help them to move on from old stories, painful experiences, etc. Yeah, so I'm going to move on from that. So that's what the universe is pushing or guiding this person towards, is helping others, I would say, and using communication and stories, etc., to help others heal in different ways, whether it is through forgiveness, balancing themselves internally, something sexual, which we'll find out here. As I say, we've got the Facing Your Shadow. So the Three of Swords, it can partly be the shadows, can't it? So let's look at what they have dealt with in the past. As I said, it looks, the first thing that came to mind with that Mary Magdalene and Aditi card is that this person, they've had their awakening. It got triggered. Let's look at the Mary Magdalene card in the book and see if it mentions what I think it's going to mention. Yeah. Mary Magdalene, Sacred Marriage, you are your own twin flame. So I mentioned that. I mentioned having an external person that triggered things for you, a soulmate, whatever you want to call it, that's triggered your awakening. But you also have your own inner masculine, feminine, twin flame type energy. So it says, you are your own twin flame. Spiritual wholeness leads to new experiences of intimacy and love. And obviously, if you've gone through that, then you already know it, you already feel it, and you're able to share. So your intimacy connects to that sexual stuff as well. As much as sex is a physical act, it connects to intimacy, or it can connect to intimacy too. And it is about, it says, shall I read this whole thing? I'm going to read the whole of the Mary Magdalene message actually. It says, so obviously there's the connection to her in the Bible, but it's, oh wow. Okay, I'm going to read the whole thing. And if there's someone I know that I've spoken to about this, and they mentioned that Shekinah, which I don't know very much about. It's on my list of stuff to look up. I've got a shitload of stuff to look up about goddesses. But that person mentioned this Shekinah energy as well. So if you're watching, hi. But this is mentioned here. So it says, Mary Magdalene was the author of a gospel and chief apostle to the disciples. She has roots in Gnosticism, hopefully I've pronounced that right, where she's worshipped as an aspect of the Holy Sophia. I'm going to have to share this reading with this person because she talked about Sophia too. It says, her Ankh pendant signifies her role as priestess of the Egyptian goddess Isis. Mary holds the Shekinah flame, the feminine aspect of God. She presides over the twin flame union, a self-knowledge journey that brings higher consciousness, that's a deity there, higher consciousness to partnerships. And obviously that could be the partnership within yourself of masculine and feminine, or external. So it says, the Temple of Magdalene is a space for deep spiritual and sexual healing. It's already been mentioned. Sexual healing is here. It's bringing up the Marvin Gaye song. One of my favourite songs, I have to say. I think Let's Get It On is my favourite, and then from him, and then Sexual Healing is the second place. Your soul has an ancient connection to this temple, and memories of the twin flame union are now being stirred. As you awaken the holiest feminine and masculine energies inside your heart, you'll be working deeply on yourself and awakening to your soul's light. This process can span many years. Your healing journey is about becoming whole. All your life, you've been preparing to create a relationship that reflects that inner wholeness. It's not a partnership based on image-driven ideals of perfection, nor is it based on patching up each other's wounds. It's a conscious relationship in which both people take responsibility for their own lives and soul growth. Mary says, before you can experience sacred marriage with another, you need to come home to your own inner twin flames. She gives you a red rose, her symbol of the beloved, to signify that you're choosing the sacred marriage inside yourself first. In perfect timing, you'll merge with a partner who reflects your own completeness. Trust that your heart knows what it's doing to build a synergetic experience of true love that leads the world to higher consciousness. Interesting what's coming up next. It says additional messages. You're a powerful spiritual teacher with a mission to bring the Shekinah feminine force of divinity to humanity. It also says clear the vibrational imprint of past lovers through energy work. Work on your relationship in couples therapy. Incorporate sacred ritual into your love life. And the invocation says, I am whole and complete. I am ready to create a sacred experience of intimacy. I love that. I mean, it's already said you're a powerful, we already talked about spiritual teacher being part of the mission. What else was I going to say? It says your healing journey, the process can span many years. I can attest to that. Absolutely. Many years. Like forever, your whole life. What else was I going to say as well? I can't remember. I should have said it in the beginning, actually. I was going to say something and I didn't say it. But I didn't want to sort of disturb the flow of reading the message. So, yeah, I think that's gone now. I can't remember what I was going to say. But I love it. This is interesting. This is interesting. Let me just quickly look at the Aditi message as well, although it's pretty, to a certain degree, it's self-explanatory. But let's just see if there's anything else we need to know from that. So see the bigger picture. The universe is opening up to you. And it says to open your consciousness. Okay, I'll give you, it's about broadening your horizons mentally, physically, spiritually, and being curious as well. I'll give you the additional meanings because someone might find that helpful. So it says, don't take this situation personally. Study philosophy or ancient knowledge, study philosophy or ancient knowledge systems such as astrology or Ayurveda. Travel or move abroad, get a second opinion, develop your connection with spiritual guides. And the invocation says, my mind is open and flexible. I'm willing to expand. I'm just going to get some clarifiers on Mary Magdalene and Aditi, just to see if it gives us anything else, to be honest. But I think there's the spiritual teacher, the Hierophant. As I've said, it's pretty much said everything that I wanted to say, that I feel that somebody was triggered. Awakening was triggered by a connection that is helping them to expand their consciousness. And it's taught them, but it's also encouraged them to be this teacher, this spiritual teacher, light worker, however you want to put it. Anything else, please? So the Hierophant, again, it would be where they are the spiritual teacher, but what they've experienced has taught them. Ace of Pentacles, it was an opportunity. Whatever relationship they've had in the past, it was the opportunity that triggered them to awaken, but it's also opened doors for that person as well. We've got the Nine of Wands. I can absolutely understand that feeling of being shit scared and looking at the whole thing in terms of the connection, the spiritual awakening, everything, looking at all of it and thinking, what the fuck is this? I've been there, trust me. Should I make that the title? No, I can't make that the title of the video. It probably will get taken down if I do that. But anyway, I don't know if you saw that double flip. When I talk about double flipping, that's what happens. It was going to be the Eight of Wands there. I'm going to put it back. I will just say that is, for me, that is sort of the receiving and giving of spiritual messages. Should I take it? Yeah, okay, I've got a strong yes on that, so I'll keep that. Anything else? No? Yeah, okay. Yep, it fell on there. So Two of Pentacles. Okay. Yeah. So with the Eight of Wands, I just said it. It's the receiving, which has happened when the person awakened, receiving spiritual messages. And the part of the whole process of that was to encourage them to share spiritual messages. The Two of Pentacles in the past, it would have been like a consideration of, or one of the considerations would have been, well, what do I do with that now? You know, what do I do with this? And then within the whole situation as well, with that Nine of Wands energy being there, in terms of the spiritual relationship connection, it's like, what the hell is this? What do I do with it? I don't know what I'm doing. I need to feel balanced, and just being all over the place. And also in terms of spiritually as well, as a spiritual being, with the whole awakening, the ups and downs, not knowing what to do, trying to get everything back into balance and just work with it all. So I'll take these back. And let's get to the star of the show, Kadesh. So this is what the person is dealing with in the present, in the soul contract. So let's just have a look at Kadesh quickly. She's actually next to Ra in the book, isn't she? Yeah, she's next to Ra. Okay. So for Kadesh, as obviously it says, sexual wisdom, embrace intimacy, celebrate your sexuality. She's an Egyptian goddess, the Egyptian goddess of sacred ecstasy. Okay. So it's already mentioned sexual healing, new experiences of intimacy. And it refers to sex as sacred. I'll give you the additional meanings. Okay, there's something here that says, it asks you if you want to be more sexually expressive and creative, so that could be relevant. And then it also speaks of sexual blocks or trauma, so that could be something that this person is dealing with. If there are any blocks or traumas around sex and sexuality, that's something that comes up too, and that could be where the balance comes in. I was going to say the forgiveness first, but I said the balance first. Where the balance comes in, in terms of balance, again, the feminine, masculine within you, and how, and sex, and how that connects to sex and sexuality for you. This card does mention it can bring up, it can show up when there are issues for someone with sexuality and gender related, you know, issues as well, or where people are struggling with that. So that's something that comes up too. And as I was going to say, the forgive card, yeah, so forgiving sexual trauma, relates experiences around sex and intimacy in past relationships, that comes up, and how you move forward from that as well. So the additional meanings are explore sacred ecstasy. Okay. Yeah, it's not pleasant when this comes up, but if there was abuse, I mean, that comes under trauma. If there was abuse, that comes to mind as well. I guess sexual would be the main thing that comes to mind with sexual abuse, with the sexual wisdom coming up. And also it can be like domestic abuse as well. So that can come into the whole forgiveness and helping others in that sense too. So, as I said, explore sacred ecstasy rituals, how sex connects to the divine. Work with a sex therapist or relationship counselor. Communicate your sexual needs to your partners. And the invocation says, my sexuality is natural. I'm worthy of ecstatic pleasures. As we all are. Let's see what else we can get from that, because this is what the person's dealing with in the present. So you've got the Two of Swords, the Ace of Cups. That feels like that whole intimacy thing that's been dealt with, how to remove any blocks to intimacy is one thing that comes to mind. And also expression, any blocks to expression, sexually for yourself, and in terms of if you are somehow going to be helping others with their sexuality and how you express whatever it is that will help others. That Oma card, just as it does connect to what I'm going to say. it can be to do with the written word. I've mentioned that it's to do with the written word as well. So if anybody's wanting to write a book, whether it's fiction, non-fiction, and there's a sexual element to it, that can come in here as well. Because as I say, expression. And we have the Ten of Pentacles. We have the Two of Wands. We have the Four of Cups and the Ten of Swords. So looking at this section here, I wonder if anybody is wanting to write a book or something, either to do with sexuality or where there's just sex related stuff in it. Like it could be as simple as a romance novel or something like that, with that Ten of Pentacles being there, because to me that's a choice. It's like an opportunity to do something where you could potentially make money from it. So that's another way of looking at that. The Four of Cups and the Ten of Swords would be the trauma. I feel like I'm having deja vu looking at these two cards together. I wonder if this came up in one of the readings in the monthlies. These two together specifically feels like deja vu. But anyway, this, I would say this is the traumas and the blocks that need to be overcome here. I mean, Ten of Swords is pain. Four of Cups is, the word nostalgia has come into mind first and foremost, which is not something that typically comes up for me with the Four of Cups, but you've got, could potentially have nostalgia there. What else was I going to say now? I've lost my train of thought. Dwelling on something. Dwelling on something, definitely. It can be where you've felt a lack of connection or support in past relationships, and that can be in any way at all. Let me just have a look at it and stop trying to guess. I feel like someone here may have lost a partner through death. Yeah, someone might have lost a partner through death, and it can also represent just the dwelling on the ending of relationships as well. But that literal death, like it's already happened. I'm not predicting someone's going to die, but that's coming up really strongly. And cancer, the word cancer's coming to mind, and it's really making me yeah, that's coming up mega strong, to be honest. For that, maybe just one person. Anything else? And with that coming up now, this is making, I feel like I literally want to cry now. I can't even think properly now. That forgiveness as well, a part of that forgiveness that comes up, it can be where someone's past and like feeling, struggling, it sounds weird to say it, but like struggling with needing to forgive someone for dying. That's coming to mind. Okay. Just bear with me, I have someone at the door. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. That was just an Amazon delivery. I know I was just talking about that someone feeling like they need to forgive someone who passed away, like most likely a past partner, spouse, etc. The thing that I've just delivered actually connects to this reading in a weird way. It's ylang ylang oil, which is, I believe, it's an aphrodisiac. It can be an aphrodisiac, very essential oil. So yeah, interesting that it came at that time and interrupted the reading. But anyway, let's continue. So, right, I've already said at this point in time, there's something about removing any blocks to intimacy, sexuality, expression of intimacy and sexuality, sharing knowledge on intimacy and sexuality. Someone could potentially be writing a book or doing, it could be a book, it could be a film, it could be a podcast, anything where they're expressing this information. There's an opportunity there where someone could make money from that. And then obviously I spoke of the forgiveness of someone passing. And then aside from that, just generally needing to kind of get past any pain, and dwelling on endings of past relationships. Shall I get one more for that Four of Cups? We have the Empress. This one first, Seven of Wands, and the Page of Cups. I've just got the words learning how to love again in my head. So again, for that thing about someone passing is really coming up quite strong. And as I say, it could just be for one person. There's this thing about putting themselves back out there, because you've got the Empress and the Seven of Wands. For me, it's coming up here as like it's like the protection. Okay, there's a couple of ways it's coming up. One of the ways it's coming up is where if somebody's needing to put themselves back out there and open up to relationships again, there's a need to remove the barriers, any defensiveness, where they've sort of locked themselves away, and be curious, be open. With that Page of Swords, that was mentioned. Where was that mentioned now? It was mentioned somewhere here, and I can't remember. I think it was a DT actually. There's that side of things. But even if it's not that someone's lost someone, lost a partner, there's something about being more confident sexually as well, and viewing yourself as attractive. This is going to sound a bit dramatic, but it's almost like if you are someone who's seeking a partner, who wants to find a partner, and you haven't really had any luck, I feel like saying it's like you need to fall in love with yourself. You need to fall in love with yourself to and also to view yourself as sacred, to remove the sort of any barriers and defensiveness, but to view yourself as sacred as well. And then it can also be teaching that message to others. If you're already in that place where you do feel like you're already in love with yourself, in a healthy way, of course, and you already feel you're sacred, it's kind of teaching that message to others as well. Because for me, the Page of Swords, it can represent the others who need to hear that message. Interesting. Right, let's get these out of the way, and let's move on to the future energy of what this person will be facing in the future within this, I was going to say sexual contract then, sexual or sacred contract, but it's soul contract, isn't it? Soul contract. Right, Lilith, face your shadow. So obviously the story of Lilith has connections to the Bible, being the first wife of Adam, who got banished because she wasn't submissive. And if you've ever heard me talk about this whole thing, that I have an issue with this whole concept of submissiveness before, because I just don't like it. I'm all for cooperation and teamwork and compassion and everything, but this whole submissive, to me, it's just it's slave and master. If you have a different thought on submissiveness, as usual, feel free to share it in the comments. But maybe there's something more I need to learn about it, but for me, it just always feels like slave and master. I control you, you're my slave, you do as I say. That's the feeling that I get from it. It just gets my back up every time. Let's look at Lilith. Let me just see if I want to take anything else out of the book for that. So face your shadow, heal taboo emotions, step into the light. So again, any blocks, any traumas, and the impact that has had on you, where it may have made you behave in a certain way or have certain thought patterns or whatever, it's getting past that. And also again, accepting yourself and your sexuality and your own shadows too. So the one thing that comes up as taboo is where I mentioned about somebody losing a partner and feeling like they need to forgive the partner for dying on them. That would the taboo feeling there would be anger towards the person that's died. I mean, it is common, isn't it? If someone dies, it's not unusual to feel angry that they've died, that they've left you. But yeah, that would be a taboo feeling. It speaks of releasing self-judgment here as well, which I mentioned judgment at the very beginning, about being less judgmental, where you need to forgive yourself and others. Right, so the additional meanings. I'll give you this message actually that it says from the Lilith message. This just stood out to me as really important. It does speak of looking bravely into your hidden self. And it also speaks of creating your dreams, not because of luck, chance, or fate, but through realizing that all the power you'll ever need is within you. Don't be afraid, you're ready to shine. And then the additional meanings are: seek professional settings for thorough shadow work. So that might be where you want to consult. It might be a counselor, psychologist, a spiritual counselor, even. There's that. A group, a spiritual group. And then it also gives us an additional meaning: shadow energy is influencing the person or situation you're inquiring about. So again, this can come into where you're needing to share your knowledge, wisdom, whatever. The spiritual teacher comes in, and that's where you assist people with their shadows as well as a future energy. I mean, the invocation says my shadow is my inner teacher. So it's almost like you're using your shadows to be a spiritual teacher too, is what comes to mind with that. So I'll get some clarifiers out on Lilith. The Fool. You can help to free people. You can really help to free people and open their minds up. You can help them to transform. I mean, you can do this for yourself, but yeah, as a spiritual teacher, guide, whatever, you can help others to do this too. Four of Swords. Yeah, I love this. I actually really love this reading. So with the Four of Swords and the Six of Swords, it's where it said in the book, I'll see if I can find it again now, because it said I don't think I read this part, but where is she? Where is it? About looking bravely into the hidden self. This for me feels like this is looking into the hidden self, whether you're doing it for yourself or helping others to do that so that you can move on. And then the Queen of Wands, that would be your energy. If the soul contract is for you, it's being inspiring. There's been a guiding light. And the Queen of Wands, she's actually Aries, isn't she? But we are in Leo season. And I think it's because my grandmother, who passed away when I was 6 years old, but I always felt strongly connected to her. She's a Leo. And I always feel like that Queen of Wands energy is her, that Leo energy. Even though I know it's Aries, but I guess it's the feminine version, because the King of Wands is Leo, isn't it? So for me, she's like the female Leo energy. But as I say, it's like being an inspiration, a teacher. I think the Queen of Wands can be viewed as a teacher as well, like in traditional tarot. And just supporting others, backing them, being their cheerleader. And she's fearless too. This is my favourite Queen of Wands out of all the decks I've got. I just absolutely love the red hair. I love the expression on her face, everything. She just feels so powerful, but I don't know. I can't explain it. I just love the energy of this particular Queen of Wands. So yeah, right. So, and obviously it's whether if this is you, you can be a man or a woman. It's just the energy that's there. So let's remove these. So that's the future energy. Again, it's using, it's working with your shadow and the shadow and others' shadows to sort of free, transform, help people move on, look at their hidden selves, etc. Just bear with me, I need a drink because my throat has gotten dry all of a sudden. And then the final card it's a bit of guidance on how to fulfill this whole contract. Well, do I even need to? I mean, I'll clarify it, but Ra, share your gift. I don't really, literally share your gift. Whatever knowledge you have, whatever experiences you have, whatever story you have, however you want to express that, share it. That's what's needed. Share your light. Remember I said at the beginning, talking about all the chaos that's going on, to focus on your path and focus on the light within you. It's that. It is literally that, basically. So Ra, share your gift. We've got the Eight of Swords. If you have any fears about what you want to share or putting yourself out there, that's something to overcome. That's a potential challenge to overcome. Emperor, yep. Emperor, it's where you show up as a leader. You've got the King of Pentacles there. You build, you put the effort in. As I say, you have the courage and the confidence to do this. You don't worry about the barriers or what could go wrong. You just focus on building and stepping out as that leader. The Lovers, okay, of course the Lovers would come out because there's a whole concept of relationships, masculine, feminine, sexuality in here. I think I might look at that one on its own, depending on what comes out next. And who is that? We have the Six of Cups. Okay, let me just get something for the... Okay. Actually, the Lovers here, it is again about that connection. Whatever it is the connection is that triggered you, that awakened you. If this is your soul contract, then it's using that, because the Six of Cups can be like a gift from the past, or a gift from your old stories, or a gift from your past experiences. And it's using that, those lessons, those stories, those feelings, those experiences, using that to guide you as you go forward and share your gift. Do I want to get... Okay, out of curiosity, I'll get one for the Lovers, but I think I've pretty much covered. Yeah, the healing. Temperance is healing, isn't it? I'd say that if you feel that you're a twin flame, or you've got a soulmate or a spiritual connection, there may still be some healing for you to do within that yourself. And sharing your experiences, your story, your gifts, it may help. That may help you to heal as well. But as I said, there's that whole theme of helping others to heal, and to, as well, whatever it is that they need to heal, there's using those experiences to help them heal too. Okay, let's get final advice from the Power of Love deck and from the Sacred Rebels deck. So what else do we need to know for the person whose soul contract this is? You have trust. You have acceptance. Oh wow, I love that. On the bottom of the deck, you've got cooperation, so I'll take that as well. So the trust card, you have a strong connection to your soul's loving voice and have faith in your intuition. This is you needing to trust yourself to share that gift. So we've got that one. The acceptance card, you are ready to release control of situations or people and lovingly embrace the rhythm of life. So that's the lessons you've learned in terms of forgiveness, and it's freeing yourself from old stories, and it's also again where you're able to help others to free themselves and transform out of old stories as well, and blocks. And then cooperation. In your quest to manifest the energy of love, you realize that every person and experience has its value. So again, that comes into that assisting others. You're working with them, you're cooperating. It's also the cooperation between your masculine and feminine energies as well. Was there anything else I wanted? I feel like there was something else I wanted to say about that, and it's gone now. I think I've already said helping others. So you're working with others. You help them to cooperate with others in their life too. Okay. The coffee's telling me that I'm supposed to say something, and I'm not saying it. So it may be for some, or for one person. If you feel you have that spiritual connection with someone, there may be possibly be some sort of cooperation with them as well. You could work together, and that may be part of how you share your gift, is that you work with them. I'd say for the most part, focus on working your own light and doing your own thing and your own path, but there is a possibility that that person could come in, or there could even be someone else that comes in for you romantically or non-romantically, maybe platonically, but who you would have a close connection with, because to have a close, intimate connection with someone, it doesn't always have to be romantic, does it? But you might have like a partner who you share your gifts and your knowledge and your wisdom with, whether they're romantic or not. And I will get you a final card from the Sacred Rebels deck. Going to be interesting coming up for a title for this one. So Sacred Rebels, this is a really awkward deck to shuffle as well, but yes, okay, that one. So you have 36, listening for truth. So I'll get the book out for you. And the thing that comes to mind again is where you've learned and are continuing to sort of, the forgiveness card is coming back to mind. It's where you've and it's by acceptance as well, forgiveness and acceptance, where you've brought things into balance, and you are able to bring things into balance and help others do that by accepting and understanding the reality of things, the truth of things, and your own feelings as well. So the truth of your own feelings, the truth of the situation, etc., and you help others to do that too. So where's the book we have? Right. It says the truth speaks to us constantly, but not always in words. It may communicate through a feeling that is hard to put into words, but brings an inexplicable sense of peace, trust, and the knowledge that somehow everything is going to work out perfectly, even if there is little evidence of how it is all going to happen. You are being asked to listen for the truths beneath the words rather than the superficial message of the words themselves. This is especially true for the communications of those around you, the press, the newspapers, and the mass media. You will begin to hear fear in the words and actions of those around you, even as they preach love. Listen deeper, listen for the truth. The oracle comes with a message of truth for you. You are hearing something that is not being said, and what you are hearing is truthful. You may feel as though you are the only one that is really ready to hear or see it. Perhaps you have been working in a situation or loving in a relationship where truth is consistently denied. We live in a world where truth is frequently avoided out of fear of what it might reveal. At the basis of such actions, consciously or not, is a deep sense of unhealed, toxic shame. If you or someone else is fearful that the truth will expose rather than free and heal, then some personal healing is required. It is time for letting go of old wounds in favor of a greater sense of self-love and acceptance. You are being asked to love yourself enough to honor the truth, even if you feel you are the only one doing so. Sacred rebels need truth like lungs need oxygen. Truth keeps the energy of life flowing through the rebellious heart. Lies dampen the spirit of the sacred rebel. Even if those with less awakened hearts fear the truth, you must not turn away from it. Don't resent this state of affairs. Perhaps your job is to show that truth can be witnessed even when many may want to hide from it. What others do is always their choice, but through your honourable deeds done with integrity, you will be set free no matter what the outcome. You are a truth seeker. Never deny or try to quieten this down to make others comfortable. You are meant to be an agitator at times, even though you don't have to confront people to do it. You don't necessarily have to say a word, though sometimes you will. Often you will agitate in the most loving sense by unveiling truth simply through your knowings. Hold compassion for the truths you behold. Do not use them as knives to cut another or yourself with harshness, but as the clear insight that allows one to loosen the knots that bind simply by knowing which thread to gently tug. This oracle brings you guidance if you have been worn down and depressed by the lies, gossip, deceit, or backstabbing going on around you. Don't fret, get out in nature and spend time communing with the infinite. Healing will come to you now, no matter how many times, in how many ways, or by how many tongues untruth is spoken. You know what you know in your sacred rebellious heart. That truth is your connection to the living truth of life itself. Don't give up, just open up to healing and know that the truth always eventually prevails. And I will tell you the healing process, which says, place your hand very lightly at the front and back of your throat and say, I now release all vows of silence I have ever made, consciously or not. I now release all lies, deceptions, and painful words, spoken or unspoken, that are affecting my ability to clearly know and speak my truth. I am held in unconditional love with protection and grace. So be it. You have finished your healing process. You might like to say something true just to anchor it. How about, within me, beyond all that rises and falls, only truth remains. That message feels pretty much what I've already said, but I will say that this message for me, it goes with the stuff I was talking about at the beginning with the chaos. And I was thinking of adding that in when I was talking at the beginning, but I forgot, to be honest. I completely forgot about the truth with all the chaos that's going on. With the stuff with the media and whatever's got, it mentions you are being asked to listen for the truths beneath the words rather than the superficial messages of the words themselves. Listen deeper, listen for the truth. Bear that in mind with all the chaos that's going on around you. I'm going to leave that message there. I hope you enjoyed that. As I said, remember, focus on your path, focus on the light within you, stay in the light. Thank you very much for watching the video. Feel free to leave your comments, feel free to like the video. I appreciate you watching, and I hope that you're well and safe and that you have a great week. Take care.